So it's been over a month since I recorded my last episode. And the reason is that it's been a shit show. I mean, from the 2nd of July, 3rd of July, I don't know, to the 29th, I barely can remember anything. And I'm still in a bad space. This whole podcast thing started as a Burnout podcast. And I didn't know how to process all the rest. Because burnout is just a combination of fucking things that is piling up in your body and your mind. If you think you have a soul, then so be it. But honestly, I lost my best friend 8 months ago. And I've been sick since January with so many digestive, gastrointestinal diseases and problems and issues, neurological, psychological, and just a lot of stress on unemployment, financial issues, isolation, harmful thoughts, not only against myself but against others as well. And I never act on those. Never. But when you're in your fucking apartment for months on end, and the only way you can grab somebody's attention is through Tinder offering sex, that's fucked up. For me, it's normal. That's how I get my 5 minutes of attention. But it's not really healthy long term. So, yeah, I remember this much. I met a guy on Tinder, and he came over. He took me to his place, which was in another city. I took my cat with me. At that point, I only had one. And I stayed over his place. He was criticizing me the whole time. There is a reason why I cannot eat a lot of things. I found out that I was lactose intolerant. I have a nasty acid reflux. I have stomatitis, and I've lost a lot of weight, and I've been battling to keep my weight. I guess I'm about 119 pounds, 20, I don't know. And I'm 5'3", so I'm trying to keep my weight. And he kept criticizing me for not eating stuff. He says all the time, "You're not normal, you're not normal. Nobody does that, nobody does this, you're not normal." And then it was kind of a lift because I had medical appointments the next day. So he came over, he fetched me, we went to his place. And he even took me to the hospital the next day. And I was approached by a salesperson. She wanted me to explain why I was looking inside my bag while I was shopping. And all of a sudden, they're going to call the police. They want to open my bags, and I was like, fuck, hell, nobody's touching my bags. I'm out. Because they were trying to frame me for shoplifting, even with no products have been taken. And I felt like a patsy at that point. But trust me, that was not the end of it. I mean, how fucking illegal it is to look inside your bag while you're shopping. I could be doing a million things inside my bag, not trying to go steal anything. So I was really stressed out. I left, and they said they're gonna call the police and shit like that, and I was like, hell no, I'm out of here. I'm not gonna be framed for something I didn't do. So he came, he fetched me, and then he told me, I hope you don't mind, but I'm gonna see my ex-girlfriend tomorrow. And if you want to stay, you can, but not here. You need to stay at another apartment because I don't want you to I don't want you to stay here while she's not. I don't want her to find out that you're here. It was like just before I went to sleep. And I had no words. I was beyond myself, out of disappointment and frustration and rejection. And I wanted to spend a couple of days with someone who actually enjoyed my company. But all he did was to criticize me and basically tell me that, what was he telling me? I have no fucking importance whatsoever on his daily schedule. So he started provoking me, enticing me into taunting me into fighting. And I did what I had to do. I just grabbed my bags, grabbed my cat. I skipped all the medical appointments left. I came back home. And after that, it was just like a blur. I remember I talked to a guy on Tinder, but he was like, "You're too much at this point of the relationship. We don't know each other." And this is the same guy who calls me while I'm in the hospital, the emergency room. And we talked for hours and hours and hours throughout 1 or 2 weeks, and all of a sudden I'm too much. So he stopped answering my messages. And after that, I was just saturated. I was exhausted by my landlord because I offered to pay 3 months in advance as long as he would give me a discount on April, which would cover April, May, and June. He didn't want to give me a fucking discount, so he said no. He refused to get 3 months in advance. And then he proceeds to spend the next 3 months of my life harassing me, nagging, whining, complaining, everything you can imagine about the fucking rent that I offered to pay in advance. And he said no. So I was in such a state of fight or flight and just exhaustion. I was scared that he would show up and kick me out of the apartment. And I didn't read his messages. He knew I was in the process of getting the social benefit for being incapable of working. This is a special benefit for people who have a disease explicitly and directly correlated to work. And I did it myself. Like I said before, my lawyers fired me, the psychologists fired me. I couldn't find a single psychiatrist to give me anything but medical prescriptions. That's what they're good for. I mean, doctors, lawyers, policemen are just, I don't trust anybody anymore. Because they go to school, they have a position, they occupy a position of authority, but the first thing they do is to get their fucking asses out of line. Doesn't matter who the fuck is in the line. As long as they're out, you don't matter. And I'm not being cynical, I'm being realistic. It happens, it has happened to me many, many times before. I begged for help. I called the suicide landline. They could barely understand what I was saying because they don't have any mental health training. These are, I don't know what the fuck they are. Seems to be like they're volunteers. I mean, hell is full of people with good intentions. You can get your fucking good intentions and shove it up your ass because they're meaningless if they're not followed by competency, real training, understanding of the mind and the mental conditions. So yeah, I was so overly stressed out. I was in survival mode for so long, since March. And when this guy that I was talking to, not the first one, the first one was just like, I'm gonna decimate his life. I know shit about him that he shouldn't have talked about near me. And he's gonna pay for it legally. Also, he tried to have sex with me without my consent. And I already reported him. So, I'm not being revengeful. I'm getting some justice for myself. There is no such thing as any other type of justice. I'm not claiming I'm a vigilante. I'm just saying when I need shit done, I do it myself. And yeah, it's kind of serious. The judge already reached out to me. And I'm going through with that shit. He has no idea. So, yeah, I talked to this guy. He was cute. He was sweet. He played the piano for me. I cried a lot. And because I was raised, my parents are musicians, or were musicians, I don't know. And they both taught me how to play the organ and with piano study books. So when he played to me, it was like, holy shit. It still moves me. it still makes me feel emotional. It still touches me. And then he was like, this is too much for me. And I was like, okay, bye, bitch. Next. And then I was in such a mental, emotional pressure to pay the fucking landlord the 3 months that I owed him. And my benefit came through. So I went to my hometown to withdraw the money, because this fucking camping villa, mining villa, there's only one bank. And it's not my bank. So I had to go to my hometown, which was not what I wanted at all. And then I went to the bank, and after 3 months of harassment and emotional and mental distress, tension, not eating well, not sleeping well, not shaking all the time, anxious all the time, medications all the time. Nothing controls my anxiety anymore. And when I got to the bank, I just saw that there was nothing there. No money, nothing. And I don't remember anything anymore. It's just I had a few bags that I was planning on taking my books from my house. And they showed on camera that I was putting stuff inside those bags. And I don't remember anything. I can't. And I just saw someone called Clancy, the woman who killed her 3 children and is claiming insanity. I mean, I don't approve of murdering anyone, especially children, but dude, just, man, I do believe her. I do. Because your brain can make you dissociate like fucking hell. It made me. I didn't take anything. I actually paid for some things. And I left. And I was kind of out of this trance when one of the security guys, or whatever, a bald guy, he was, grabbing me in my neck and my arms. And I started screaming and telling him to stop, just leave me, just don't grab me, because I thought really honestly that he was gonna beat the shit out of me. And I didn't run. When he let me go, I just walked away calmly. I didn't understand what he was saying. I just kept moving, because the goal was to get to another bank and see if I could withdraw the money. And the attendant was just like fucking rude, because I could see there was men from the supermarket. They were following me through the whole city. downtown, and they were making quite a fuss. They were yelling and screaming and saying, she stole something in a supermarket, she's a thief. I thought I was gonna be lynched. I went into a drugstore. I asked for water. I asked for Wi-Fi. There was a traffic guard. He came over. He asked me straight away, do you take controlled medication, prescribed medication? I said, yes. Where is the bag? I said, it's here. Do you have the slip? I said, no, it's on the other bag. He left. He said, there's nothing here. But they kept doing it. They kept doing it, just shouting and screaming and following me everywhere I went. And there's a huge crowd. But anyway, I don't want to linger on that. Short story, long story short. I went to prison for 2 days. And I felt more safe inside prison than I did outside. I didn't tell anyone about it. They asked me, well, you go through a fucking lot of people when you're in jail. Apparently, they actually give a little bit of more of a fuck about when you're inside than when you're outside. So you get to see a fucking dentist, you get to see a psychiatrist, you get to see a doctor. There are nurses on shifts every single time of the day and night. I mean, it's the perfect system for mental ill people. Whatever they did, I don't care. But, just me. And then they asked for some phone number. I said no. I couldn't remember any of even my own phone number. I couldn't remember. So yeah, I spent 2 fucking days in prison because there is no jail. So you get to share as a rookie or whatever, a new inmate. You share the same cell as convicted murderers or whatever, or drug dealers or whatever. It was 19 women in a 4-bunk room cell. This is for another episode. I'm exhausted. I can't continue. But yeah, when I came back, I was so sick. I had my period. I was more scared of seeing my family than getting out of prison, staying in prison. Because as soon as I got out, they got really, really, oh, do you know who took you out? Who got you out? Yeah, that's this and this and this person. You remember him? I said, no, I don't remember anyone. I didn't call anyone. I didn't want any of you here. I was just sick of it. Because for months, my family has refused to help me. And financially. Any other way. So, and they're not completely broke people. They are businessmen and women. So, obviously my father and my mother and my sister are fucking miserable, poor, from the ghetto, yeah, where cows go to shit. It's where we live. And they wanted me to go back there. I said, fuck to the no. There's no way in hell I'm gonna set foot on that house again. Unless it's to grab my books and my pets. So I was terrified of seeing my family again. And on day 2, they called me up in the cell. I was shaking all day because I didn't have my medication for anxiety. And the first day I spent in the nursery, I was handcuffed, had hands and one leg, because they said I was being too loud, and if I kept moving, they were going to tie me up. I said, do it now, because I'm not getting better. I'm not okay. And then they did, and then I was like, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm getting dizzy. Yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna test all this niceness all of a sudden getting me out of fucking prison. They were pretty fast and good at it. And I said, listen, I have this exam, neurological exam, that could clarify a lot of things for me, but I can't afford it. And everybody went quiet. It was just dead silence. And it was my uncle, one uncle and one auntie. And she looked back at me and said, you should get a discount card and try again. So I was like, yeah, nothing changed. Nothing has changed. And that was it. I came back. My sister insisted that I was with my father for some period of time. And it was okay. Until, obviously, my fucking brother had to get all schizophrenic and shit again. And my father had to leave. And that was when shit went really down. Because as soon as he left, I had my period, like I said. I have an IUD, copper. And my periods are really, in July especially, were really brutal. And lucky me, it was on my final period days when I went to jail. But I was still spotting when I was there. And I spent a whole week in bed. And when I left, like when I was fine enough, I had 6 interviews. And none of them came through. And I had a lot of booze and alcohol, and obviously a few drugs, but one drug. But I was just in the despair room again. The rejection, the abandonment, the isolation, the pressure, the harassment, the sickness, the unemployment, the financial pressure. The fucking whole burnout just went to a new level. In less than a month, I was feeling cared for and appreciated and actually finally seen by somebody else. And all of a sudden, there was nobody. And I heard from men on Tinder that I was not worth the trip to another city. He said, You're ugly. You're not pretty. You're not competitive. There is a lot of women here. They're calling me to go to a pool party with champagne. And they must be desperating to want someone to fuck you, and you can't find anyone. And I don't know what that means, but it hurt. It hurts so much. I cannot menstruate, I cannot think of a scale of 1 to 10, because he basically told me, not because he told me, I don't know the fucking guy, never seen him, but basically what he said was, I'm telling you what the other guys don't have the balls to. You worthless piece of shit. You're not pretty. And you're not competitive enough with your other girls. What he meant was, I'm not running after his fucking lazy ass, ugly ass, like the others unemployed bitches do. So it was a lot of things. I'm not even telling you half of it because I'm exhausted. I live just in front of a school, and it's the whole fucking day. By 7:30, the kids are already out and shouting and screaming and yelling like fucking Satan demons, possessed demons. It's just like, I have to wear earplugs all day until they're gone. And today I woke up with a fucking nasty temper. Like another guy told me, you have a nasty temper and you're mean. We haven't seen anything, bitch. Nothing. So what I'm saying is, my environment is hateful. The debts are piling up. The bills. Everything I worked for this past 2 weeks amounted to fuck all. Nothing. But it was also a cleaning period of my life. I reached out to so many people, and they were unwilling or unable to help. So, people I've known my whole life. Sorry. I just know that they're no longer part of my life. I don't respond to relatives. And last Sunday, I had a fucking nasty migraine, and I was seen by the ambulance paramedic right in front of my door. My own father took 2 days to ask me how I was, and he said, my brother is fine. So what do you think? Give me your thoughts. He has no intelligence whatsoever to connect the dots here. I know for a fact. He didn't even go to school. So I believe it's not malicious. But the fact that he says, well, your brother is fine. How are you? It just does it for me. I mean, what else can I say? It's just, it is what it is. It's not a conformist, complacent phrase. I hate it. I hate it because my former partner used to say it. And for me, it was admitted defeat. It is what it is. It's admitted defeat. There's nothing to it. And I'm not a defeatist person, ever. Never been. But today, I feel more like it's easier and on myself to say it is what it is and let it burn, let it crash down. Then accept crumbles. Then settle for less. Then stop trying. The process was... It's not even like... It hasn't been through court or anything. But I already refused any kind of proposal for negotiation or deals. I sent them a message yesterday saying I refuse to settle for something, to pay for something that I didn't do. So yeah. I'm still unemployed. I'm still sick. The only thing now is that I'm using a lot of drugs, a lot of weed, more weed than I ever did. Edible, smoke is just whatever. Not just a healthy coping mechanism, but a coping mechanism is better than nothing. And I spent my whole fucking life coping with absolutely fuck all. Raw, dry. It's not pleasant. So now I have something to relax, to not make my days more miserable than they already are. So yeah, I'm not gonna move out this month, probably even next month. I already sold 80% of my stuff, my furniture. I don't have a couch, I don't have a TV. I'm interviewing on my ironing board, ironing table, whatever. So yeah, I just think that today, given the level of my anger, because I'm boiling. There is so much shit I've been through. Some of it I put myself through it, I can't deny it. I was looking for connection and I found somebody who said, "You're worthless." So, fuck, yeah. I'm on meds and I'm on weed. Sue me. So yeah, I think that if you're not, I'm not saying you should, but just trust me. I wouldn't be able to survive these past few days if it wasn't for this little relief that I have. I'm exhausted just talking about it. It makes my emotional state just go so much into so much trouble, labor, just exercising my thoughts and make my memory work back towards all that shit. I'm not even talking about the fact the days that I spent inside the prison. But there's so much shit. One of my previous episodes I said, don't do anything that jeopardizes your freedom. I still abide to that. Don't do anything stupid that can jeopardize your freedom. Once you're there, you're supposed to have like a custody audience in 24 hours. Some of them girls I met there spent weeks before they could get a custody. Whatever. And then they would keep saying me, well, you might get out now today, or you're gonna spend the weekend here. And that's when I lost my shit, because I have now 2 cats, Betty and Tommy. And I said, they're gonna die. They're going to die because I'm in prison and I cannot feed them. That's the only thing I said. All the time. And then I came back home and they were like scared. And I never left again, like anywhere without them. If I go to the supermarket, I take at least the big one, Big Benny. If I go to a restaurant or something, I mean, I can't afford to go to a restaurant. I'm talking about the shitholes that sell hot dogs. I'll take him too. So, yeah, I think that's it for today. Just keep in mind that no doctors, my psychiatrist said, just let me know what I can do for you. Anything. I know you're in financial hardship. I said, if I make a GoFundMe, would you help me and share? He said, yes, just do it. And I did it. I sent to him immediately. He never shared a single one of them. I never got a single cent from anyone. And it's been 2 weeks. For someone who actually almost cried during my evaluation. These people are cold, nasty bastards. Psychiatrists have a special talent to torture you, which means they give you all the explanations, all the fucking diagnoses. They pretend they give a shit about you. They prescribe you medication that's gonna hook you up and make you fat. And to be honest, they don't know shit. Because they're sitting on piles of money from people like us, who just feed the beast. The more people are mental ill, the more money psychiatrists, psychologists make, the less they give a shit. It's not only them, but they are the worst because they deal with mental illness and mental health issues with actual human beings. Not fucking oysters. So, and lawyers are unpredictable. They also are very good at pursuing something that is going to be financially beneficial for them. But other than that, if you're not golden mine, they kick you with no ceremony whatsoever. I trusted my inmates like I've never trusted my coworkers, my former coworkers. I knew that I could rely on them, I could count on them. And ever since I got out, there was sort of the feeling that I belong there. Not because I'm a criminal. I mean, that's what I think. But the truth is, even them you cannot really trust, because one day they save your life, the next day they're setting you up for failure, to get caught doing something wrong. But the prison itself, not the inmates, not just them, but the prison system felt like a fucking relief. I didn't have to think about the fucking landlord, the bills, or whatever. You don't exist for the outside world and vice versa. That's your little world. And I felt very safe in that environment. I mean, the discipline, the rigor. I'm too fucking old for the army, but I've been thinking about enlisting for a year. I enjoyed the discipline because I was beaten up until I was 28 for the so-called discipline. And also abuse and of all sorts. But I don't know which main message for you today is, but I guess it's don't get arrested. Especially don't get arrested in Brazil. Take care.